right, this is reference for myself, and I will probably post this to YouTube. So what I'm working on is a very old 22 caliber rimfire rifle. It's somewhere between 80 and 100 years old is the best I can figure about it, because I've looked up the brand name, when they were manufactured, stuff like that. And it was manufactured sometime between, I have to look up the exact dates again, but about 1920 to about 1940. Might be a few years before or after that, but roughly 1920 to 1940. So, like I said, I decided to work on this gun. It was my dad's. He has passed away about 7 years ago, and it is now mine. And the main reason I started even doing this is two reasons. One, I'm planning on becoming a gunsmith, and two, in a few years I'm planning on becoming a gunsmith, and two, I just want to fix, there was a crack in the stock, which I will show a picture of later, or maybe take a quick video, but I want to, but I started tearing everything apart, and it's just like, well, let's clean everything up. So this is the bolt, obviously, and this screw goes right here, and these two little screws go in a shroud on the other side, and I'm slowly taking the bolt apart, and it's fairly easy so far. This screw seems to hold everything together here, and then this unscrews, and then here's your spring. Sorry about that. Here's your spring. This rod is short, but like I said, I wanted to get reference for myself. So that rod is fairly short, and then it goes in there, and I'm assuming that hits on the firing pin. This must be part of the firing pin, but also the bolt comes out fairly easy. So I'm going to take all this apart, and then once I get it all apart, I'll get another picture and maybe a short video, and start cleaning it all up. All right, once we got it all apart, I realized just how easy it was. So this is all just looks like one solid piece of machined metal. Obviously that's where those other two screws go. There was two screws, one on each side here, and then those two on the top. This is the firing pin. And yeah, this just hits into the back of the firing pin here. Sorry, I'm way off camera here. This just hits in the fire, and of course the spring goes on. And of course the spring goes on there. That's the back of the, the firing pin, and this rod, or that piece of metal, goes all the way through the middle here. So I'm going to clean everything up with brass brushes and some cleaner. Get it nice and polished back up, and put it all together, because this was really gummy coming out. I don't think it would cause any misfires, because this is a pretty tough little spring here. And by the way, for myself, orientation is this way. So this end of the spring is closed, this end is open, as you can see, and it goes on the firing pin this way. So for myself, for reference later on. Or anybody who's watching this. I will get the name of this. It'll be in the title. I just don't remember it right off. I think it's I just don't remember who made this rifle. And I'll give you some more backstory. And yes, I've decided to put this on YouTube. All right, you'll have to excuse all the dirty rags behind me. I am working, this is the bolt. I found out there is a couple more parts here that I didn't realize, and they must be just the way they're shaped and the way they are in there. I'm assuming they're the they grab onto the end of the case, and that's would this be the ejector? No, not the ejector. Yeah, I can't think of it. But anyway, they pull the empty case back. And, so you got this small little round piece here. But anyway, that's what those are, the two smaller screws held in place on both sides, which I didn't realize. And I don't know why this one has a groove in it, because neither one of these have a groove, but they can only go in one way. So I don't know why this one is grooved there. There doesn't appear to be anything that goes in that groove, but I'm not sure. Is something missing? I don't know. I'm going to go through all my parts here. But anyway, so this is fairly clean, as you can see. That's where you can see that small hole, hopefully. That's where the firing pin comes out. But this is the firing pin. It's pretty corroded and crudded up and stuff like that for some reason. It looks like it's been well lubricated over the years, but that lubrication has also caused some problems. Here's the end of the firing pin. There again, boy, that was, that is definitely old manufacturing processes, not made the way they are made today. But anyway, I'm going to take this out in the garage, and I've got a drill with a brass brush in there, out there. I mean, it's probably not in the brush, or in the drill right now, but I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit better, get some of that old corroded on oil on there. I've tried some few things here and it's not doing it, so that's where I'm going next. And I know it would run in the bolt, but I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up anyway. All right, hopefully you can see this okay. Didn't perfect. There's a little spot there in the middle. I didn't get 100%, but it's really hard to hold this by hand because I didn't want to put it in any kind of tool and take a risk of damaging it. Hold it by hand, and didn't want to get my damn fingers in the brass brush, because I've done that before. It doesn't feel good. So that firing pin still looks damn strange, but I think it's hard to tell if that was welded on or if that's all one piece. Sorry, I don't know why it's not focusing. There it is, but it's really hard to tell. But anyway, got it nice and cleaned up, and put it all back together and see how it works. All right, so hopefully this works and you can see okay. I have just set my cell phone camera. Oh shit, let me turn that off. Oh, by the way, you wanna know something that really helps? Hopefully the camera can see this okay. Get you some reading glasses. These are very strong. These are one of the strongest magnifications you can get. We're working on small parts like this, and you know, granted, I'm not young, I'm 51, but these sure as hell help. Even, you know, I need reading glasses, just weak ones for the day-to-day, but to work on projects like this, even if you're young, these are great. So, but anyway, here's all my parts and pieces. I'm slowly kind of getting it back together here. I kind of showed you the firing pin, which is an odd, weird little firing pin the way this is set up. I didn't get this, like I said, I'm hoping the camera's catching all this. It should be. I didn't get this 100% clean. I don't know if I should really bother, because I tried to get all this crud out of here, and it just, it's helping a little bit. This one's a steel brush. I've got a brass brush and 2 nylon brushes, a bigger nylon brush, and all kinds of little odds and ends tools. I have found out for basic, simple gunsmithing, and somebody's going to get offended by that, but just to do this kind of work, it doesn't take a huge amount of tools. It doesn't have to be the most expensive tools. It can just be some basic tools. I think with some of the tools I bought, I didn't spend that much money. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't much, and I think a person could get started in gunsmithing, learning the trade for under a couple $100, minus some books. I suppose between tools and books, I've probably spent about $200 now, which isn't bad, but yeah. So anyway, I'm just kind of showing you this. I want to get this bolt cleaned up a little bit better. It's got a hell of a wear mark here. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know what that wear mark is from. Another one here on the bottom. If you notice, and one thing I've noticed is, and this is just from manufacturing processes, difference between then and now, this is just one piece of steel that was wrapped around and made to fit on the bolt then, and combined together, and they must have just press fit it into this ball. So there's no real fixing this. I wouldn't mind getting this ball, and maybe this thing Cerakoted, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet. I just might, I might not. I know a lot of people be offended by that, but this is my rifle. Now I'm not selling it. I don't have any kids, so it won't be going to any kids. Who knows who will get it after I'm dead. Hopefully in another 30 or 40 years, but we'll see. But like I said, I'm just trying to clean up all these little parts and pieces. This might go get put into, why the heck? Oh, that's right, that head doesn't go in there. That head goes in there. So, I guess I got that crud out of there. Anyway, I don't need to record this part. I was cleaning up these things and trying to put this back together. I see that one needs to be cleaned. They definitely go in specifically, but this has got one hell of a spring steel on it, so it's rather tight. I don't know why there's two of them, but there is. But anyway, I'm gonna pause the video for a few minutes, clean this up. The spring looks okay. Clean this up a little bit better, and then reassemble the bolts on this gun. I'll grab the gun itself to show. But this rifle was made by O.F. Mossberg & Son, Inc., New Haven, Connecticut. It is a 46M 22 short, long, and long rifle. It's got this cool little peep sight on it. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's multiple fixtures you can flip up for whatever you want. Like I said, when I looked this up, it is manufactured between about 1920 and 1940. It's got a tube style magazine which comes up here and goes in. It's unique. I've never really had this apart there. What the hell is that? Something's caught up in there, huh? Oh yeah, but this tube style magazine, I've never taken this thing apart obviously and didn't know that was there that way. I'm assuming this is threaded in there, but boy, it's really hard to tell if that's one piece or if that's threaded in there. If anybody knows, put it down in the comments, please. That would be great to find out. If this is a threaded barrel, threaded into here. And yes, I see there's, if you're not seeing it, there's all kinds of metal chunks. That's because of cleaning it up and stuff, I got some metal in there. But I will clean all that stuff up before I put it all back together. Ooh, nice. I guess that piece didn't get very clean inside, or gunk is still coming out. But anyway, the other thing I did want to show is this trigger is a bit odd. I don't know quite how it works. It's unique once I look at it, but you know, you can see when you pull the trigger back, I thought this piece was bent, but there's a spring in this, so this must be adjustable trigger somehow. So you must be able to set, which would make sense because I know this trigger, whenever you fire this rifle, it is extremely sensitive. It takes no pressure on the trigger whatsoever. And this thing is, you're sending around downrange. So that must be an adjustable trigger, just the way it is. There's even, hopefully the camera's picking this up, there's even, you know, obviously it's a screw head in there. Well, obviously it's got to come out, but I'm assuming that's made for an adjustable trigger. I don't know if that's what it was intended as, or just to get it right, or what. But anyway, did a little bit different trigger system. But like I said, this is almost a 100-year-old design at least. And I will put the exact year. But anyway, I'm gonna pause again with the camera. I'm gonna clean everything up and get back to it. Get back to putting everything together, and I will show that on camera, but I want to finish cleaning and I don't think you want to watch that. So anyway, give me a few minutes. All right, double check. All right, you can see what I'm doing for the most part. All right, I am ready to go back together. I wanted to show you a few things here that I figured out. Okay, so I thought these were both extractors, but they're not. I guess I don't quite understand which is which. They are, even though they look the same here, if you can see, look at it, hopefully you can see that. They're both bent. So when I screw this in, and that's why I know which one goes where, this one would go here, and that gets bent in. So this one must be the extractor, somehow. But anyway, so this one goes on the other side, and that's the one with that weird groove too. So anyway, this one, no, wait a minute. What the hell? Okay, I didn't realize that. One goes one way. Ew. Shit. I should have paid more attention to how them came out. Because now I don't know. Because this one could go either side. I'm a dumbass. Okay, that one could go that side or this side, which would kind of make sense, because whatever this groove is for, it kind of seems to fit without getting into that groove. Hopefully you can see that there. Like I said, I'm not seeing what's on the camera. So I wonder, does this one go to this side? Which would make sense. That one seems to work well on that side, and that one seems to work well on that side. That one is the extractor. Oh, okay, so that is correct. So when you look at it, hopefully you can see this okay. This one definitely has the little lip on it for the extractor. I'll pull that out of there and show you what I mean. So as you can see, there's a little lip on there for the extractor. This must act as the plunger to kick the round out. So, because this has got a turn going the other way, and it would kick the round out above the neck. I think that's how that would work. So, there's one way to figure that all out. Luckily, this is the bolt and ain't too deep. And where's my screwdriver at? So like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting this thing back together. Sorry if I was off camera there for a second. And maybe if I cut the video right, you won't even notice it. Okay. That is really tight, but that's supposed to be the way it should go. So like I said, this is from an old 46M 22 made by E.F. Mossberg and Son. Of course, everybody just knows it as Mossberg. Today, I'm giving the full name because I don't understand. Or I want, if you look it up, I want you to be able to find it. Okay, so got everything fairly well cleaned up now. Hopefully that is right. I'm sure there's somebody screaming in the comments right now how I'm such a dumbass. And you're right, I'm not going to deny that. I just hope it works when I put it all back together. Oh yeah, that's right, I have to do this. Yeah, okay, this thing will go this way when I'm shooting it. So this will go this way. This has to kind of go on like this and then turn it. And then slide everything forward together, and your bolt handle is on. And here's your cocking mechanism. Then, okay, then the spring goes on here. Shit. This is where I need to check the video. This end probably goes in here. So let's try that. And the smooth end probably goes up against here, which would make sense. So am I forgetting anything? No, I'm not. Okay, there we go. So now, give this a push and start threading that on. Everything looks like it's back together correctly. All right. Don't want to lose those two. Those two go on next. Okay. Should have done a bunch of before and after video, but I didn't. But oh well. Knowing me, this video will be too damn long the way it is, and most of my videos are. So then, okay, that's done. I wonder if that's normally that loose. Yeah, I guess so. Doesn't feel right, but that's the way it should be. So, oh yeah, okay. So, you know what? I should have painted that with a red dot on it, because when that pops out, sorry, that actually takes a little bit of tension. Well, that's not hard, but you got these grooves you got to get in your hand in. But this should have a little paint of red on it, because when that pops out, you'll see it. So before you pull the fire, or before you fire the weapon. But anyway, let's go ahead and pop these suckers back in. Crap, this does go forward, right? Anybody remember? I don't. I think this was before I even started filming when I took this piece off. Come on, why aren't you screwing in there? I don't like that. Let's try the other one back. I don't know why it would make a difference there, but seems to have. Okay, got that one in. And what? Should be the exact same screws, but that one seemed to go in and now this one doesn't, so might be just my screwdriver hitting the edge here, I'm not sure. All right. Okay. All right, that is the bolt back together. All right, to show you the last part of what I already did, just to show you though. Okay, it's hard to tell now, but I did clean up the stock. It was gunky all over the place here. I'll show you a few of the rags that I used. These were the first few of the rags I used. This is how much crap was coming off the stock. It does look like finished, but I think it's just oils and stuff that were sitting on top. It's clean, it's smooth, it feels good. So I don't think I'm gonna do anything else with it for now. I was thinking about completely refinishing it, but I don't think I'm going to. Here's some of the stuff that was gunked on there, and it's still a little bit here. You can still get a little bit more of it out of there. I didn't realize I had left some behind. Thought I got it all. But the reason I even started this project, if you can see here, and hopefully that shows up in the camera, it was cracked along here. And what I didn't realize, it looked like it was just cracked up to about here. And I was trying to figure out how to fix this. What I did, hopefully the video would look better from this height. So anyway, what I did to fix this crack, because I was trying to figure out how do you do this, you know, what kind of glue do you use in something this old? Wood glue would, of course, be ideal, but it was really hard to get anything, you know, in there. I mean, I didn't want to crack it any further. So I was just getting a knife blade in there is all I was getting in there. And then just enough to split it and use this to hold it apart while I while I put some glue in there. Well, this is Bob Smith Industries Instacure. It seems to have done a very good job. It's just CA glue, or what you call super glue. I don't really call it that. And if you're wondering why I call it CA, it's cyanacrylic. I hate that word. But anyway, this is why I call it CA. It's like I said, what people call super glue, but this is better than super glue. But anyway, you can see this is very liquidy. It's almost like water. So I got that in there as I was holding open. And then hopefully you can see this, and I will make sure and get a picture of this if it doesn't show up on camera real well. If you look down in here, after I put that in there, I watched and it ran all the way down. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully that's on camera, to about here. And you can kind of tell, let me see here. Yeah, you can kind of tell. It's really hard to tell there. Maybe get it a little bit closer to the camera, where it's wet, all the way, it looks wet all the way down to here. That's that glue. So all the way down to here, that glue. So that crack was from here all the way down to past where the bolt goes. So yeah, it was a good idea to do this. But anyway, I'm missing this little thing. If anybody knows where I can find one of these. Of course, this is the safety tab, goes back here. That must be, yeah, that's part of the rifle, not the bolt. But anyway, and I'm missing this little button, so it's fire and safe. This has fallen out years ago. I've never seen that in there that I can remember. Like I said, I cleaned this up using two different things, using some Hops gun cleaner. This is more for barrels and internally, but it works good for externally. But actually what did an even better job is some Schaefer Citrol. This is great cleaner if you're ever wondering. Yes, it's expensive for one of these cans, but it is great cleaner. But that did a very good job of cleaning up this whole thing. I can still feel it a little bit here and there. I see there's a few mistakes, but it definitely did a very good job of cleaning it up. So anyway, that is the stock. And of course I showed you the bolt. And I also did this 4-end piece. And this kind of confused me. There again, maybe some of you guys can help me out why they did this. So this screw, it appears that there is only one screw that goes in, one screw that goes in from the bottom of the stock into the bottom of the barrel. Because this screw, which would go somewhere, oh, it does go into here. I didn't even see that before. But yeah, that's where it goes. So I guess that does go into here. So, and this is somewhat adjustable. This metal piece here is somewhat adjustable. And this pops out easy. You kind of got to figure out how to do it. I had to pull this, squeeze this little thing. So this is the first instance I know of a detachable, or QD as you would call it in these day and age, sling point is this right here. And if you pinch this in, it should pop out. Well, you pinch that in and then turn it 90 degrees, should pop out, but it's really hard to pinch this in there. Again, I had to use the blade of the knife to get in there to help turn it, but then I cleaned all this stuff up, cleaned up this part of the stock. So now, and this is held on, this metal piece, it's a 2-piece stock, which I did not realize that. I mean, like I said, I've never had this gun fully apart. So it's 2-piece stock and this metal piece, and there's a gap. And the whole thing gets held together with the screw up front, this metal piece in the middle, and the one screw in the stock in the back. And it's pretty neat. It's definitely kind of old school, obviously. And like I said, this stock is about 100 years old. But it's in, you know, this rifle is in pretty damn good shape. You know, the original little peep sight on here still works, still pops up. Like I said, I kind of showed you what that was like earlier, but let me just show you so you can pop up this. It's kind of a pain in the butt too, because then it doesn't, it's not 100%, but it doesn't lock in place. But as you can see, there's a little peep sight in there, or a little pin, and you gotta kind of push these down and get the one you want. It's a little bit of a pain, but you know, and the person does have to be careful with these because it easily break them off. But yeah, then you can do that pin, or peep sight, or one of the other. There's 2 more on there. but it's kind of a neat little sight on the front. Never had that apart and don't plan on. It's a tube-fed magazine, as I said. If they would put this a little bit closer to the front, probably would have held more, but I'm guessing there's a limitation on the spring compression too. So if I remember right, this thing holds either 15. My dad had two old 22 caliber. One's a semi-automatic, a little bit newer Marlin 60, I believe. And this one's a little older. And I think this one's a 15 shot, but I haven't loaded this thing or shot it in years. It's one of the reasons I'm cleaning it up and getting it all put back together. But the one question, you know, and I know this is all personal choice. I plan on doing something with this barrel. Cleaning it up. I wouldn't really have to do much with the tube because that'll get hidden underneath, I think. I guess I don't know how the tube comes apart exactly, but it shouldn't be too hard to figure it out. None of this gun was. It's pretty easy, but it's rusted along the entire top of the barrel here. Of course, the closer you get to the front, to the breech end, it's worse. Closer you get to the muzzle end, it's in pretty good shape. But I'd like to get rid of the rust, but there's no way to do that without taking some of the bluing off. And this is not going to be re-blued. This is going to be black, as you can see it. But I could take it to a local guy who does some Cerakoting work and just have it redone in black, including the worn out action, you know, to where this is pretty well worn out here and could make it look nice, but I'm not sure if I should or not. I wouldn't mind, but what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. I'm gonna get this cleaned up. As you can see, there's some metal in there from when I was screwing around cleaning it. I know exactly what that's from. It's not from anything serious. It's just, I want to get it cleaned out. I swabbed the barrel to make sure everything was cleaned out after I cleaned that, but need to clean this out yet. And then I'm gonna put it all back together. And what time is it? It's 5 o'clock. I won't have time to go shoot it tonight, but hopefully I'll have time to go shoot it later on this week. So anyway, and let you know how it shoots. I haven't shot this in a very long time. I'm gonna go over this with a little bit of rough stuff, real gently, so I don't damage anything. I just want to take some of the rust off, and then oil it up and hopefully get it ready for shooting. And by the way, I know this is probably for a peep sight, but there again, if somebody could tell me what these two screws are for, because they're not directly on top, and only 2 screws for a scope mount, I kind of doubt that. But anyway, if anybody knows what these are for, there's also 2 more back here along the side. So I'm assuming it's a peep sight system or maybe for a scope system, but back in 1920, 1940, I know by the 40s they had scopes, but I don't know if they did in the 20s or not. Anyway, like I said, any of you guys know, let me know down in the comments, and I'm going to continue cleaning and finish assembling, and I will show you the finished product when I'm done. Starting new. Heard noise, it bothered me, but don't want to add that to the video. Anyway, so I wanted to double check to make sure everything was functioning. Of course, trigger works just fine. It's a little bit dirty here and there. I'm not going to worry too much. I don't know what kind of metal this is. I don't know that this really needs to be cleaned up. Won't matter for function, but as you can see, it's a very, very light trigger. This little thing pops out, like I said, when it's cocked and ready to go. Doesn't take anything. And this is not your standard 22 semi-automatic. Like I said, if you saw how it was built, this is more like a common rifle now. It's just a center fire. But anyway, it's a very light trigger. I don't know if I'm gonna mess with this or not, but as you can see, it's a pretty light trigger. One thing I didn't realize, and this is the safety here. I know you probably can't recognize it because of the way it's not in the gun, but I didn't realize how this worked. So when you cock it, your hammer comes back or goes forward slightly. And to put it on safety, all you do is slide that. This little tab now slides underneath the trigger and you literally can't pull it back. So it's a very, very light trigger on this gun. And you can see this is why, and maybe I should fix this. This is why this little shield here, and I still don't understand why that shield is there. This is what rubs on here, so I might bend this out just a little bit. It probably got bent in at one time, but I don't know, does it really matter? It's a 100-year-old gun that works just fine. You know, at least the last time I shot it, it did. So, like I said, that's how things go together here. I'm gonna finish putting it together and... All right, as you can see, it is completely reassembled now. There's a bit of a gap here, but I think that was always like that. I just don't remember honestly, but it has to be right because I don't think anything moved. And it's the only way it can go back together. So, but it's all reassembled, functioning properly, cleaned up, looking good. It's not for sale, if any of you are wondering. Like I said, I'm keeping this sucker. It's been a damn long time since I've shot this rifle, and if I remember right, it's actually pretty good shooting. And when you look at that barrel, I'm curious what it is. I'll measure that and put it here in the video. But because it's got a pretty long barrel on it for a 22 long rifle, or a short, long, and well, whatever it was. Anyway, as I said, this is an EF Mossberg 46M, built approximately from 1920 to 1940. I'm guessing after World War I, they allowed steel stuff like this to go back into production. That was not, and before we went into World War II. So it was built in that era between World War I and World War II. I'll have to double check my dates on that, but pretty sure World War I was over in 1918 or 1920, I forget which year. But anyway, it's a very nice rifle. I will hopefully enjoy shooting it soon. Thanks for watching this. And I don't beg for money. I don't ask for money on here. I generally don't monetize my videos, and I don't plan on starting. But if you would, give me a subscribe, because if this is the kind of thing you're interested in, I will hopefully do more. And I'm hoping to do more, because I'm hoping in a few years I can start a new career. And even though I'm older, I don't care. I want to get away from my current career, and I enjoy doing this kind of stuff. So, and also, give me an idea what you think this would be worth as a service. It took me a couple hours, but it's the first time I was doing it, and I was going back and forth with video camera, so I think a person got used to it, could do it in about an hour or so. But what would that be worth to somebody? I know when I got charged for some work I did, I think he was charging about $85 an hour. So let's just say $85 to $100 an hour. Is it worth that for somebody to return this rifle to you and clean, good working condition, ready to go? So let me know. Thanks. Bye.